Hello everybody, welcome to WhatCulture Gaming. I'm Scott, joined by Rach.
Hello.
And it's a day of celebration because it seems like Scalebound is being resurrected after...
I did not see that coming.
I didn't at all. So this came from Nintendo Insider and it's only based on the person who wrote its up sources, but they're very confident in their sources, which is enough for us to freak out, set off some fireworks and celebrate, because Scalebound seems like it's coming back as a Nintendo Switch exclusive, which is a hell of a thing.
Yeah, so it was a Microsoft exclusive and now it's a Nintendo exclusive, so I don't really know what to say about that, but I'm not complaining being a Switch girl myself.
I think one of the weirdest things, or the first thing that came to mind, was that they'd have to scale back production in terms of the graphics and everything.
So will it be scaled back?
Oh God, it's Nintendo bound.
We're like 30 seconds in.
Oh, 30 years almost old as well for such things. But yeah, I mean, they'd have to kind of change, because the whole idea with Scalebound was that it was Platinum's first attempt at an open world game, before Nier anyway. And you sort of had all these like loot grind mechanics and you're flying your giant dragon, and it was like, you know, bringing the whole world in. And I kind of wonder how they would do that on the Switch. Like, do you think they would kind of, I don't know, de-res it a bit?
Well, they'd have to. I mean, it's as plain as day, the Switch is not as powerful as the Xbox One. Hell, the Xbox One X. It would have looked amazing on that, but it's gonna, at least we're getting it. I'm of that mindset, at least we're getting it. It is, however, gonna be 720, 30 frames a second. So it's not going to be amazing.
See, I'm not too hung up on because people get lost in the frames per second, Xbox One X stuff. But if you look at the actual game footage that's out there, the project was really far along when it got canned, which apparently only happened because Phil Spencer went over to Platinum and said that it wasn't shaping up the way that they thought. I don't really know the specifics of exactly why it went down.
We didn't find out why. I think personally, I think it was because people had too high expectations and they were afraid it would flop. But then they've just pooped out Crackdown.
Well, that was the weirdest, weird way the timeline kind of worked out, because they were like, oh, Scalebound's too hyped up, it can't possibly live up to XYZ. Yeah. Crackdown's middling to no one wants it, so it can only do well. And it's like, bleh. But either way, basically the way that this came about was apparently Microsoft was signed on as publisher like they used to be, exclusive style. The trademark came up for renewal. Microsoft apparently couldn't state what they wanted to do with Scalebound. They couldn't decide whether to keep it or not. And that left it open for Nintendo to step in. And now Nintendo have scooped it up, apparently, which is good.
Well, it's pretty believable.
It makes sense. And looking at the footage that's out there, the sort of weird, the quirky nature of Scalebound, the characters, because you play as a dude called Drew, who just puts some big old headphones on, fights some dudes with a big sword, has a big demon arm. It's very like Devil May Cry. I mean, obviously it's Platinum, trying to sort of be like the subsidiary of Capcom kind of thing in terms of the approach to combat. And I love that it's just it's over the top, action heavy, and you've got your little dragon pal called Thuban. Well, I'm a big fan of Thuban, but you've been following it.
He is a good boy.
Yeah, you've been following it pretty closely over the years. So.
Well, I mean, I'm very much I'm weird. Hi.
Little bit.
I don't really. Cool. If there's a game coming out and I know I'm gonna like it, I tend to actually stay away from it because I think I don't want to know anything. I don't want to have anything spoiled. But with Scalebound, when it was cancelled, I sort of I guess I'm kind of glad I didn't look into it too much because I was heartbroken. It just,
I mean, when you look at the footage of it, especially on
I have seen the trailers, Yeah,
and they had a whole bunch of screenshots out there. It was one of the first titles that was associated with the Xbox One. Yeah. And even it's weird when you actually take a step back and think about the Xbox One's exclusive lineup.
I bought an Xbox One December 26th.
Yeah. I've had mine since the end of 2013, start of 2014.
I think Scalebound was announced in the summer of 2016. Probably should have looked that up.
Well, either way though, the general look of it, even down to the color scheme of being very green and blue, even that sort of associative stuff on the branding side, it was Scalebound and Xbox, and that was one of the reasons a lot of people bought into the system.
I was very excited to have a reason to buy an Xbox One, to be honest. That and Ori, of course, but got me Xbox One for Scalebound, then of course it was cancelled. But like I say, I'm happy. I'm a Switch person. I love my Switch, and it's all about the gameplay for this kind of game. I think I love How to Train Your Dragon. So just basically, it's How to Train Your Dragon the game.
Plus, another thing is that it's pretty much How to Train Your Dragon with Devil May Cry, on top, which has always been the perfect formula. Again, no idea why they cancelled it in the first place. It always made sense.
It's probably money. It's probably something to do with money, where they were like, it's not going to give us enough money.
Maybe. But on the Platinum side, at the last Nintendo Direct, Platinum had a pretty good showing, and they showed off the new game called Astral Chain.
Yes.
Which is the big spiritual wolf cyber-looking thing.
There is a police dog.
There is a police dog?
He's a very good boy. So we just had the Direct, what was it, last week? Wednesday?
It's in the past. When you're doing these sorts of things, it's either right now or it's in the past.
Some time ago.
Yes.
And it did look pretty good, but I was just kind of like, what is this game? Because I guess we haven't really seen, was that the first we've seen of it?
Oh yeah, I think so.
I haven't seen it before, but
I knew the Platinum were working on something new, but we didn't know exactly what it was.
It looks pretty good. And then, of course, they're also working on Bayonetta 3 as well. So.
But all those things point to the fact that Platinum have a nice little relationship with Nintendo.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like whether that's the Bayonetta series, like you got Bayonetta 2 coming over, or like, you know, Bayonetta 3's in development, and then there was Astral Chain, and like even Star Fox Zero, like they kind of, like Nintendo trusted them with one of their first party
they did
IPs.
That, yeah.
Star Fox Zero wasn't great, but you know, it's out there.
It had the nostalgia factor.
It did have the nostalgia factor. That's one of the only reasons that I love Starlink is because you can just play as Star Fox. But all of that points to a much better working relationship between Nintendo and Platinum, as opposed to the way that it seems to go on the Microsoft side, with like Phil Spencer dropping in and saying this isn't lining up and sever the whole thing. I mean, I love Phil Spencer, dude's a G, but I just don't get why you would cancel something in motion. So there is that. Another interesting side to this is that Scalebound originally started as a Wii game.
I didn't know
way back when. But though, that means it's been pretty much in development for since 2007 or 8, like just as an idea.
Okay, so right, I'm going to spin this negative into a positive.
How dare you?
Because you immediately think, oh my God, it's been getting made for this long. Is it going to come out a 2007 game? Ironically though, that would work best for the Switch though, because it'll be towards back.
Oh God, yeah, maybe. I mean, delving into the original the Wii stuff, apparently they wanted to do motion controls where you would talk to your dragon and be like, go over there, and you would do a bit of that. And so, like, if they did bring that stuff back, like, you know, if they have to scale things back.
Dive!
I mean, looking at the gameplay, dudes calling in fire strikes and attacks and going like, hey, there's a platoon of dudes, go bite them. And it's like, you could tell you how to command your dragon.
At least the Joy-Con have got actually very, very good motion controls on them. Like, I mean, the Wii was okay.
Yes.
But the Joy-Con are very sophisticated. So even if it is motion controlled, guys, it's still going to be good. Look at Zelda, look at Splatoon.
Yes, I think minimal motion controlled things. I pretty much want, if possible, I want the closest thing to what they were going to give us on Xbox, because part of this report is talking about obviously the hardware side of the Switch and changing the way that the whole thing's going to play potentially, based on what the Switch is capable of. But things like Wolfenstein look to run really well, Doom runs really well. Like, you know, the Switch can do big like AAA games.
Arc is on Switch.
Well, exactly.
Not said.
Yeah, and if they're gonna bring across the very idea, the things that we were interested in, the big open world, the flying, the combat, the sort of transitions between the 2 and the 3, then maybe that's doable on Switch. I would hope so. It seems like a perfect fit. Let's talk about the general sort of future lineup of the Switch, because in terms of, I mean, it's not going to be coming this year unless they can somehow find a way of bringing all the code across from the Xbox, but I doubt it.
I don't know, maybe, but if you look at how long it took them to port over Dark Souls,
and it still wasn't the most polished thing at launch.
How hard can it be? No, like we were saying before, I think the game itself was very far in development, but they're almost going to have to start again with a lot of things for the Switch. Yeah, but maybe next year.
Maybe, I mean, I kind of think what the rest of we've got for this year, like potentially Animal Crossing, like Metro just got reset.
Animal Crossing is not this year. I'm going to say that very confidently. I think if it was this year, we would have had a trailer for it at least at the Nintendo Direct, which we didn't. Pokemon, I'm going to say, is not this year either. Yeah,
that's the thing. All those titles are getting pushed into like 2020, and like even something like Bayonetta 3. And that's another thing, is that Platinum seem to have like 3 or 4 games on their plate all at once. Whether it's Astral Chain, Bayonetta 3, now potentially Scalebound. Like, you know, trying to put all those out and then trying to stick to like solid release windows is it sounds like it would be incredibly hard. I mean, they've expanded tenfold over the last few years, but that's a lot of stuff to take on. So I wouldn't be surprised if they get through Astral Chain, get through Bayonetta 3, and then we get Scalebound.
And then, I mean, at least it's coming.
It's true, and it gives us something to look forward to on the Switch that isn't the immediate Nintendo first-party stuff.
Absolutely, or a remake. I mean, as excited as I was for Link's Awakening, you know, it wasn't a new Zelda.
And like we've talked about this before. Check out the WhatCulture Gaming Podcast. But the idea that Zelda has always hit the 2-year gap, and it's like this is this year's the 2-year mark for Zelda, but it's kind of a remake. It's not like a full-fledged thing.
I tell you what, though, so excited about that. Anyway, so excited.
Oh, it looks good. It looks gorgeous, but I'm like, if they need big games to turn heads, then I don't know how many heads Link's Awakening is going to turn.
Yeah, I mean, so the Switch, last year had, we had Smash, we had Pokemon, we had, that was pretty much it.
That was pretty much it. Labo, did you like making the Labo?
There was Labo, yes.
I like the
Labo. Labo was okay.
It's a fun time. It's a good thing. I was like one of the only people who absolutely loved that thing. But I think when you look at the Switch's overall, like the stuff that's coming in the future, Scalebound fits nicely. It's tone, it's quirky, like it kind of works.
It is. If you think about it, though, the game it's very Nintendo. You have a little dragon buddy. It's fine.
There's a way for them to totally do it and make it make it part of their whole branding and the way that people think of the Switch as being this lovely little identifiable characterful console in itself. So hopefully fingers crossed and all that, it's true.
Yeah, I mean, whoa. What if it's not true?
Well, yeah, I don't know. I mean, we're going to lead with it's definitely the case. The headline will already have got people in. I'm just going to say that it's true.
I mean, we should maybe clarify that. So what Platinum's statement was that Nintendo's statement was that they're resurrecting something that was long thought to be dead, something you won't expect.
Yes.
So everyone went Scalebound.
Yes.
But what else could it be if it isn't Scalebound?
What, any other ice climbers? Like something else that's dead and on Nintendo?
Because what about Earthbound?
It could be Earthbound. I mean, in a world where Undertale has taken the F off, you could totally drop another Earthbound in.
No,
maybe.
it's just because someone said on Twitter, like, what if it's not Scalebound? What if it's Earthbound? And I'm like, what if it's not Scalebound?
I will totally take more Earthbound or more Mother or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, potentially. I don't think they've got that many nascent franchises because Star Fox finally came back. So it's like, yeah, potentially. But not to worry.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yes, so hopefully this comes true. But let us know what you think down in the comments below. Are you still excited for Scalebound? And is the fact that it's jumping across different platforms actually putting you off or making you more excited? Let us know down below. This has been the this has been the WhatCulture Gaming Podcast.
This has been the WhatCulture Gaming
Jesus.
Newscast.
What do I usually say?
This has been the news. This has been the
time
news.
that we say the things.
Thank you for watching the news. I hope you enjoyed the news.
Oh, okay. But let us know what you think down in the comments below. I've been Scott from WhatCulture.com.
And I have been Rach. Thank you for watching.
And we'll catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye.